What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So I'm going to be trying to make this really quick video. This is about instructor tips. So I'm going to throw out a couple instructor tips out there. So probably most all started is the other day I had a guy that actually came into the shop. He came in with a big old case. He was looking to do some trades with 3 separate locks. It took 3 keys to open up his actual case and stuff like that. But he comes in, and the first thing he says when he comes in the shop, besides, we say, hello, hey, how's it going? You need help? Let us know. All the other good stuff is, can't you tell I'm an instructor? And I'm looking at this big old case with 3 separate locks that takes 3 separate keys on it. And the only thing that actually came to my mind is, you mean you're kind of scared of guns? Is the first thing that came to my mind. But anyway, this is kind of what got me started in this video. So kind of what got me started in this video. He wanted to do a trade, and he was looking for a gun. So it was actually a smaller double single action gun. And we had to explain this guy who kept bringing up to us that he was an instructor, I'm an instructor, and all this other stuff. We had to explain this guy how a semi-automatic feeds a round into the chamber and how a double to single action pistol works, because he had no clue whatsoever how it worked. He was very confused. He was very, very confused. He thought that when you pulled the hammer back, that would actually send around in a chamber, not the fact that you have to rack the slide to put it in there. And you kind of get the drift. But he kept reminding us that he was an instructor through this entire time. I did an entire video on instructors before, so go check that one out. But anyway, so it got me thinking a little bit about this. And, I figured it was a good idea to do a quick little video about a couple tips when it comes to being an actual instructor. So first things first. First tip. Know how to use guns. Kind of a big one. You have to know how to use guns, and not just one gun. You need to learn how to use multiple different types of guns, all right? You definitely need to learn how to use multiple types of guns, and when you're doing a class, you should probably bring a couple guns out to the class, and I'm going to get into that, why you want to do that here in a little bit. So rule number 1, know how to use different types of guns and how to use them efficiently. The second tip I want to give you is, remember I said bring a bunch of guns out to the class, right? Bring a couple different types of guns out to the class. The reason behind that, for like basic pistol courses and stuff like that, it's not so much as a big deal. They need to qualify a specific pistol. So choose a pistol that's kind of simple to use. I'd recommend a striker-fired pistol if you're trying to teach them how to actually, use a gun. You don't want them to have to worry about safeties and bells and whistles and stuff when they're just trying to teach the basic fundamentals. If they have one gun that they're going to be qualifying with a class, like I use my Glock 19 for, it's a very simple gun, very shootable. You point, aim, squeeze the trigger. It's all about squeezing the trigger without moving the front sight tips, and it makes it a little bit simpler for them. Students coming to like basic pistol classes and stuff like that are a little nervous from the get-go. So it just helps, it's hard for them to bring all this. They're taking a lot of information in, so it's nice to just keep it simple. Keyword KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So bring a couple different guns to the class. Now, for, like I said, a basic pistol class, something like Glock or something like that is a good way to go. But the reason I say, this will be the third reason why you need to bring a couple different guns to the class, is like this. Do you want your students only to learn on one specific type of gun? Like, say, example, a single action .22 revolver. If you're trying to teach a pistol class when it comes to actually weapons handling and safety, do you want to only teach them on a single action only .22? So when they actually go to purchase their gun, they don't even know how to use a semi-automatic or double action revolvers or anything like that? Or do you think it's a good idea that your students get your hands on various guns to get a feel for them, and you teach them the basics of this is how they operate, this is how they're all similar, and that type of thing? So that's one thing. Now, another reason why you want to bring a couple guns to it, so this is more advanced classes. If you're an instructor, I'm going to be teaching some more advanced classes. It's like this. There's a lot of type of guns out there, and a lot of people like their different types of guns. Some people like Glock, some people like SIG, some people like 1911, some people like revolvers, and all this other stuff. So if you're doing more of an advanced course, whether it's intermediate shooting or more of an advanced course, you're going to want to have a couple guns out there for you as an instructor. Because if you have, say you have 8 people in a class, all right, say you have 8 people in a class, and 8 of them have, I don't know, we'll say 8 of them have a Glock on them. You have a 1911 on you. Do you think you want to be using, because you're the one that has to do demonstrations as an instructor, I hope you're doing demonstrations about trigger control and other stuff like that, and actually shooting along with your students so they can actually see where you're going to, so you can actually demonstrate, show the proper ways how to do things. So if you have a completely different type of guns than the students, that's not going to help them a whole lot. So for example, if I was doing an intermediate shooting class and all the students would show up with some sort of striker-fired pistol, I'd grab my Glock. I'd put my Glock on my hip, and I'd be using the Glock because this is pretty much a striker-fired course now, so I'm going to teach you on a striker-fired pistol. Now, if you have a variety of guns on a course or something like that, then carry the gun that you're most comfortable with. But you have to know how to use the other ones too, because there's going to be students that say, oh, something's wrong with my gun or it's not working. You, as the instructor, need to demonstrate how to properly use that firearm. So it's a good idea to have multiple types of guns and learn how to use those specific guns. And once again, bring multiple guns to the class, especially if all the students in the class are using the same type of gun. You, as an instructor, should also be using that type of gun. That's another tip for you. Now, the next tip that I want to throw out there too is different people learn differently. All right, different people learn differently. This comes with instructing a multiple amount of people. You have to learn how each people reacts to different things. Like I've had students that have like a cerebral palsy. All right, they have cerebral palsy. So I had to adjust my teaching techniques to them because they were having hard times with shakes and stuff like that. I had to adjust my teaching methods to them. I've also had hardcore liberals show up in the class and they had an issue and they didn't want to tell people about it and they wanted to learn how to use a gun. So I can't be the person I am. Well, I'm always the person I am, but I can't talk all about conservatism and stuff like that. First of all, you shouldn't be bringing politics into a class in the first place. The class is about the shooting a firearm. But because of them, the things that I could say might offend them. And as an instructor, your job is to teach the students, not to make them uncomfortable, not to offend them. Now, some people are going to laugh, oh, who cares? I'm like, if they're coming to a class and they're paying you money to teach you, or they're paying you money to teach them how to use a firearm or something like that, you need to be respectful of that and understand that this class is about teaching them how to shoot today, regardless of politics. All right, so I just want to throw that one out there too. Now, another thing I want to throw out there too is it's like this. If you teach, there's various types of courses that's out there to teach. You could teach like basic pistol courses, intermediate courses. There's concealed carry courses, which is specifically designed around concealed carry. And there's tactical courses, and there's all kinds of different tactical courses. Dress appropriately, guys. For example, if I'm doing a concealed carry class, all right, an everyday carry concealed carry class, am I going to show up in the class wearing stuff like this, right? Am I going to show up in class wearing stuff like my old camis all over? Because that's everyday carry, right? Or are you going to dress like, you know, how you normally dress? Now, if you're teaching, say, like a concealed carry course, another good thing you want to keep in mind is if you're teaching a concealed carry course, you should probably be concealing your firearm. And if you're going to be demonstrating, which as an instructor is our job to simplify things for the students and teach them, and the best way to do that is through demonstrations, then you need to demonstrate the proper methods of concealed carry and how to simply draw it from the holster, remove cover garments and stuff like that. So if you're teaching like a concealed carry course, then you need to be concealed carry and you need to be just like your students. Now, if you're going to a tactical class, then yes, by all means, tactical class, go grab the camis, go to the drop holster, grab the kit, and the full kit and all that other stuff. I've seen plenty of YouTube channels when they're showing a concealed carry class and the instructor literally shows up like a freaking tactical ninja with a drop holster and a flak and stuff like that teaching concealed carry. Yeah, wrong place, wrong time, buddy. So keep that stuff in mind. So I just wanted to throw these tips out there for instructors or new people that want to become instructors or people who have been instructing for a little bit of time. There's a couple things you got to keep in mind with. You have to take these things in consideration when you're actually teaching your students because one, every student is a little bit differently and you need to come down to their level as a student to be able to simplify things and teach them how to do stuff. So you need to be using similar stuff that they're using because that will help them better in the long run. Now, another thing I want to throw out there too is as an instructor, I highly recommend this. I really highly recommend this. You get training yourself. All right, if you're an instructor, I'd recommend at least getting 1 to 2 classes a year by another professional who actually teaches you. Because as an instructor, if you're teaching stuff, bad habits can form. I found it happen with me. I started to teach a little bit of bad habits. Then I went over to Sig Sauer Academy and I got to work with a very well-experienced instructor and he helped, he found my bad habits and that changed my bad habits. So I learned from another instructor and the instructions that I learned from that instructor, I can now bring down to my students. So I highly recommend you go get at least training at least once, maybe twice a year. More is better. More is better, but it's not cheap. It's not cheap to get training. Just to better your skills as a shooter yourself. If you, as an instructor, can't shoot your gun, then how can you teach other students how to shoot their guns? So just want to throw that last one in there. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.